Using the multi-camera studio is a little bit challenging at first, but as you become more comfortable and you problem solve through the situations, you realize that it is a really cool tool that I'm not as sure of any other app that can provide this to you, especially for free. And it really provides the opportunity for students to have to communicate effectively and work together to create some cool dramatic shots, to have a situation where you have a special guest in one location and a reporter in another, and the camera is going back and forth like they're engaging in a long distance interview. There's just so many neat features that you can do with it. It's something that I don't use often, but once in a while when you can get the students involved and more comfortable with it, it really creates just a whole new element into your media development in your classroom. It allows you to have multiple angles and just create effects with what you are filming with your students. I'll be the first to admit that this tutorial was not the easiest to make. I'm trying to set up these two cameras as well as operate the studio camera without making you dizzy and screencasting at the same time. So do your best to follow along. I think I made it clear enough, and at least for you to be able to understand how the multi-camera studio works and how to problem solve in different scenarios. And when you work with your classmates, you will overcome these problems and your instructor will be there to support you. So have fun with the multi-camera studio and good luck. So what I want to show you is the setup that we have. I have camera 1 set up recording the green screen studio, and I have camera 2 outside for a different shot. And in your menu, when you're in the camera section, you see more cameras. And I'm going to select more cameras, and it takes us to this intense looking studio. And what I want you to see is you have built-in camera. That's the one that I'm holding right now. Tech Club 1 is filming the green screen, and Tech Club 2 is filming outside. Now, just to make it a little less confusing, I'm going to turn the built-in camera off. And what I want you to first notice is when I look at the Tech Club 1 shot that you can see in the top right-hand corner, is that it's in the red box, the output. You see the full green screen and the surroundings. Looking at your preview, that's the actual shot on the iPad. So it's important for students using the external camera and the studio camera to communicate about the shot, because the student here on this camera has a different view than what we actually see in the output. So you have two boxes in yellow and red. Output is what will actually be recorded. Preview is the other camera. Hitting the arrow in the center, I can cue up the other camera and I can cue it back. And that's in the simplest form how the Tech Club Studio, or the More Camera Studio, is working. But there are a lot of fine-tuned things to look at. First, in the right-hand side of the screen is the overall volume. Just like in our back editing, I can control the overall output to reduce it slightly. I also have audio control over either camera. And this is where you have to help the students think about the situation. If I have someone filming in the Tech Club 1 green screen studio, and they send it to the outside reporter for Tech Club 2, and they queue up the other one, and we send it back, I need the audio from both. The outside reporter is going to have their own microphone, the inside reporter is going to have their own microphone. So the audio here, I can adjust each camera if one happens to be louder than the other. As you can see, I turned Tech Club 2 way down. I want both audios on auto. When Tech Club 1 is in the output, we have that audio. When I queue up Tech Club 2 outside, we will automatically be drawing the audio from that iPad. We're going to look at a different situation where you would use different audio settings. But the other piece that I want to show you is the listen. When I cue on listen for Tech Club 2, out of the studio iPad that I'm controlling all this, I can actually listen to that microphone. So that iPad could be taken to a remote location where we could send it to them and listen to their audio and the person controlling this multi-camera studio could cue it back to the green screen and could know exactly when to do that with the listening feature. It's also a great way to test the mics. Let's take a look at another situation where you would do a different scenario with the audio. The setup I want you to see here is that both iPads are cued in on the green screen. You'll notice they're going to provide different camera angles when I step into the studio, and that the closer shot is the one with the audio mic plugged in. And that's going to be important for setting up our audio. So I'm going to step into the studio, and you will be able to see the two shots. So looking at this, Tech Club 2 is our close shot. Oh, I'm sorry. Is our far shot. It's a little confusing. And Tech Club 1 is the close shot. And in the intro video to Touchcast, this is how I created the two different camera angles. So I'm going to cue in both cameras that I want. Now here's where you have to think. The close shot, as I look at it, this one, is where the audio comes out. So I always want my audio on this camera. And so I'm going to change Tech Club 1 audio to on. So the audio is always being drawn from that, and I'm going to turn the other one to off. So whether it's Tech Club 1 or Tech Club 2, the audio, even though my camera is here, the audio is coming out of Tech Club 1. And this gives us the opportunity for multiple camera shots, but it also allows us to control the audio in the way that we want.